Hi, my name is Ev. Welcome to Buddy is in Charge. And today we're in County Wicklow. And this is Glendalough, the Glen of Two Lakes. So the Green Road used to be used by the miners that used to have their village near the top of the glen. I'm not sure whether we're going to go that far. It's about 10 kilometres, but we'll see how we get on. This is part of the Wicklow Way. Having been in Denmark and Sweden in the last few days, autumn really has arrived here in Ireland long before the Scandinavian countries, or certainly the southern tips of the Scandinavian countries. So Glendalough is on east-west projection. There are two ways to get from the lower lake to the upper lake. This is the boardwalk, and it's quieter than the Green Road. There aren't so many tourists, which is always a blessing in my view. And then you're looking up towards the Spink there, and at the moment there's a fantastic walk up there which brings you right to the very top of those mountains. At the moment it's closed because they're doing some work on them. They're removing boardwalk and instead putting down I believe rock and stone. So when that's reopened again, I'd say we'll be going there. Here's sheep, obviously. And then this is the lower lake that you can see coming into view. Back onto the second boardwalk between the lower lake, and we're on our way up to the upper lake. So we're now at the upper loch, and it is so unusual to have this beach all to ourselves at a lunchtime. Somebody's going to have a look and see the ducks. We'll actually get some water as well. Years ago we used to have a permit to ride our horses in this area, and I have very fond memories of riding my horse along this beach here. However, health and safety meant that the permits became a thing of the past. However, there are now swimming areas. Obviously, you know, you don't swim in open water unless you have somebody else with you. But isn't that stunning? I'll just leave it there for a minute or two. So the monastic site here is attributed to St. Kevin, but before Christianity, people lived here in this very place. As you can see, it is quite large, so I'll find out how old it is and I will put it in the comments below. But isn't that a magnificent view, which hasn't changed much in centuries? Nice view for lunchtime. So, as always today we've got something for Buddy. He has his own water from home, his dish, my coffee, sandwich and a sausage roll. He knows stuff about stone walls will understand how amazing this wall has stayed upright for centuries. Refer Church. In years gone by, people were unable to read and write, and instead of having an inscription on the gravestones, they would take a piece of rock from their own land and place it so they would know where their loved ones had their final resting place. So Refer Church was built in around the 11th century, and it stands on a site which has always been regarded as the burial place of a local chieftain's clan, the O'Tooles. So we'll now walk into it. So on our return we're going back along the Green Road, and then we go through the monastery. When we get to the monastery I'll just possibly take photographs because it's going to be very busy with tourists, so I don't want to be putting people into footage if they don't want to be in it. So this gives you an idea of the Green Road. You'll remember the sheep from earlier? I can't climb that one. So as we walk along the Blue Lady Walk, this is where we say goodbye. Thank you very much for watching and hope to see you again soon.